What is up, everybody? Welcome back to NFL Sunday. My name is Pat Houston. I am the co-host of the Bay State Sports Podcast, and I am doing this week's recap of the New England Patriots. We won. I think that's the big story of tonight, is we won. I coming into this week, I wasn't expecting that. I'm going to come right out and say it. The Bengals, good team. Joe Burrow coming back from an injury. I expected this week's headline and all on ESPN and everything else to be Joe Burrow's return to football dominates the New England Patriots. Come to find out, wrong. New England Patriots dominated this game throughout the entire game. Granted, will the final score relay that? Not quite. The final score of this game ended up being 16-10 New England to the Bengals. So, not a high-scoring game. Nothing to write home about. There was a couple other big games in the league this week. There's just all around the league, to be honest with you. Nothing crazy. I think the game of the week so far, and this is right after the 1 o'clock game, right after the Patriots played. I think the Chiefs still hold the title. Maybe the Eagles, Packers. That was a good game as well. A couple games in the league being better games than this game. But at the same time, as a New England fan, I still very much so appreciate this game and really appreciate this team getting off to a really good start this season. Jacoby Brissett looked good. Am I super stoked about Jacoby Brissett? No, he missed a lot of big plays. He looked a little rusty, to be fair. He hasn't played all that much with his injury history and everything else going on with him. That being said, I think he played a good game at quarterback, which is all we're asking out of him. And all we're asking out of him is for Drake May, who hopefully, we don't know. We don't know how this coaching staff is going to react. I think the coaching staff played a great game today. I'd like to give the flowers where flowers are due. I think the head coach of the New England Patriots today played a fantastic game and coached a fantastic game, so I have to give him his flowers. But at the same time, I think the players played well, and I think this season, I think this game very much so proved that we have something to prove. I think this game showed that the New England Patriots are no longer the laughingstock. That being said, we showed ourselves on defense. I think defense was the shining story of this game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that Christian Gonzalez played this game. I didn't see him on any of the stats. I didn't see him all game. Granted, I may have missed him, but I didn't see him all game. So that'll be a big person to be back in the lineup when he comes back in the lineup. I do think that the rest of our defense played fantastic, knowing the fact that we lost Judon, knowing the fact that, it's a new head coach, knowing the fact that it's a new defensive coordinator. There's a lot of stuff going on this Patriots team that would lead you to think that we wouldn't play a good game this week. But needless to say, we had a good game. We had a very, very solid game. Oh, excuse me, Christian Gonzalez did play tonight. Of course, he was 2-0 in TNA stats. He had a good game. No one targeted him, so, can't blame him. Good game by all. Although, one player I would actually, I'd like to point out two players that let's go up to three. I think three players had a really good game this game. The player that I was going to start out with was Ramondre Stevenson. He had a fantastic team, whether you're looking at it from a Patriots perspective, whether you're looking at it from a football perspective, and most importantly, well, not most importantly, but importantly, if you're looking at it from a fantasy perspective, he had 25 attempts and 120 yards. One of the things that really goes to show when it comes to these stats is the Patriots are still relying on the run. That's a big part of this game, and that's kind of what we've showed. Is this due to having a new quarterback and still trying to learn schemes and things along that line? Very possibly. But on the other hand, is that due to Ramondre Stevenson finally getting his groove, getting good plays called for him, having an credible, I'm not saying good, I'm just saying a credible offensive line where your quarterback can pass the ball without choking on the 1 yard line and throw touchdowns and things along those lines. Granted, Jacoby Brissett did not throw a touchdown today. But I do think that Ramondre Stevenson, 25 attempts, 120 yards, 1 touchdown, averaging 4.8 yards, I think is a great night for that young man. I think he had a great night. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does this season. I'm kind of hoping this is his comeback season where he can show the league what he's made of and that he can show the league that he's just not on some crap team and he's only getting the yards because of that. Looking forward to what he does this year. That's a bright spot in this game. Another bright spot would be Austin Hooper. Not a ton of usage today. 4 targets, 2 receptions, 31 yards. For receiving 2 of those, I think that's a good stat, 31 yards. I'm excited to see what he's willing to do on this team. I'm excited to see how he progresses. I know he's a good player. I watched him when he was on his last 2 teams, Atlanta and the Browns. I always thought he was a good running back. I thought this was a good pickup right off the bat. But I'm excited to see what he does in this team, and that's definitely someone to keep your eyes on. Another person to keep your eyes on is Tyquan Thornton. Let me tell you, this was a shock for me to see. I was in no way, shape, or form expecting Tyquan Thornton to do anything today. To be honest with you, I wasn't expecting for him to take the field. But Tyquan Thornton had a good game today. Tyquan Thornton ended this game with just 2 receptions, but 27 yards, 3 targets. I think he had a great game. You could say KJ Osborne was the surprise of the game. 6 targets, 21 yards, 3 receptions. I'm sorry if you have 6 targets, 3 receptions. I'm not thoroughly impressed, but I'm interested. I think you got to keep your eyes on KJ Osborne going forward. I think Ramondre Stevenson, once again, 3 receptions, 6 yards. Not a big yardage gain. Kind of dump it and throw it. Good to see he's catching the ball at least. A lot of things to look forward to in this team. Demario Douglas, okay game. 2 receptions on 3 attempts for 12 yards. Not terrible. I'd say that's pretty good. I think this offense, especially in the passing game, is going to take some time to progress. I think the quarterback needs to get comfortable with his targets. I think he needs to find who his good targets are. Clearly, he's already comfortable with his tight ends going through the middle. KJ Osborne, another one of those guys, 21 yards, not a tight end, but still. Hunter Henry, 2 receptions, 3 targets, 18 yards. Pretty good. Not bad. And then Austin Hooper, 2 receptions, 4 targets, 31 yards. I'd say that's a pretty good game. And you've been hearing me talk about a lot of people who have gotten a lot of targets. I think that's really Jacoby Brissett trying to figure out who's my guy, who's the reliable one, who can I look for when things start going wrong. When things start going wrong. I think that's what today's game was about. I mean, obviously at the end of the day, today's game is about winning the football game. But I think week 1, always a weird week. Coming out of preseason football, which is everyone knows is always kind of a joke, but it's just kind of figuring out how to play the team, who's going to do what. And so I think this was another tester game. Granted, it was a real game to win, game towards the record, starting out 1-0, great place to be. But at the same time, I'm real excited to see what this team is capable of and where this team is willing to go once the season progresses further. So, to recap all of this, it was kind of a diverse game, except for Ramondre Stevenson in the run game. It relied a lot on the run game in this game. There was a lot of throws to a lot of different receivers. I don't think that will maintain throughout this period of time. I do think we're going to start getting more targets to specific receivers as soon as Jacoby becomes comfortable, if he stays healthy, because I feel like every time he gets up, he looks injured. But I think Jacoby played a good game, played a solid game. I think he was better than Mac Jones was last year. Well, he scored a touchdown, so he has already proved that. Excuse me for my criticism, but I'm excited. I'm excited for this Patriots team. I'm excited for more recaps, and I will talk to you soon. Once again, this is Pat Houston with Bay State Sports. Tune into our full show, another full show coming out soon. Hopefully we'll be recording this week. Otherwise, looking forward to talking to you on the next recap. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and go Pats.